Hello, today we will travel on El Malecón. Avenida del Malecón, officially known as Avenida de Maceo, is a broad esplanade, roadway, and seawall that stretches for 8 kilometers, 5 miles, along the coast in Havana, Cuba. It begins at the mouth of Havana Harbor in Old Havana, runs along the north side of the Centro Havana neighborhood, and continues through the Vedado neighborhood, ultimately ending at the mouth of the Almendares Rive. Construction of the Malecón began in 1901, during temporary U.S. military rule. Its primary purpose was to protect Havana from the sea. To celebrate the completion of the first 500 meters of the Malecón, the American government built a roundabout at the intersection of Paseo del Prado. This roundabout was a significant architectural achievement, constructed with steel-reinforced concrete. Here we see the castle of La Punta. La Punta Castle is a fortress at the entrance to the bay in Havana, Cuba. It was built between 1589 and 1600 to protect the city from pirate attacks. It is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Old Havana, and its fortification. The castle was designed by the Italian engineer Giovanni Battista Antonelli, who also worked on other fortifications in Cuba and America. The castle was connected to the Morro Castle by a heavy copper chain that was used to block the entrance of the bay at night. The castle was damaged by the British invasion of 1762 and later repaired by the Spanish. The castle was the site of the execution of the Venezuelan adventurer Narciso Lopez, who tried to liberate Cuba from Spain in 1851. Here we see the Antonio Maceo Monument. It is a tribute to one of the most important Cuban generals in the wars of independence against Spain. It is located in Havana, between the Malecón and the Hermanos Imageros Hospital. It was built in 1916 by the Italian sculptor Domenico Boni, who made a bronze statue of Maceo on a horse, surrounded by 23 machetes that symbolize the 1895 uprising. The monument is one of the most imposing in the city and offers a panoramic view of the bay and the Morro Castle. It is also a place of historical significance, as it was near the site of a former battery that defended the entrance of the port. The monument is part of the cultural heritage of Cuba and a source of pride for the Cuban people. The Hotel Nacional de Cuba is a historic hotel in Havana that opened in 1930. It is located on the seafront of Vedado district, on Taganana Hill, offering a beautiful view of the sea and the city. It is considered a symbol of history, culture, and Cuban identity, as it has hosted many famous guests and events over the years. It was designed by the New York architecture firm of McKim, Mead and White, and constructed by the U.S. engineering firm of Purdy and Henderson. It was the site of a bloody siege in 1933, known as the Battle of the Hotel Nacional of Cuba, between officers of the Cuban Army who opposed Batista and the non-commissioned officers and other ranks who supported High. It has a Hall of Fame, where photographs and historical objects of its famous guests are displayed, such as Winston Churchill, Marlon Brando, Frank Sinatra, Ernest Hemingway, Yuri Gagarin, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and Fidel Castro. USS Maine Monument in Havana is a memorial to the American sailors who died in the explosion of the USS Maine in 1898, which triggered the Spanish-American War. The monument consists of two tall columns with a bronze eagle on top, and two cannons and a piece of the anchor chain at the base. It was built in 1925 and inaugurated by Cuban and American officials. It is located on the Malecón Boulevard, near the Antonio Maceo Monument. In front of the U.S. Embassy, the Havana authorities erected a monumental concrete Cuban flag on the Hill of Flags of the José Martí anti-imperialist tribute. On that occasion, 138 flagpoles built into the Hill of Flags, each more than 20 meters high, were removed. The U.S. Embassy in Havana is the diplomatic mission of the United States of America in Cuba. The embassy was reopened in 2015, after more than 50 years of severed relations between the two countries. The embassy building is a 7-story concrete and glass structure, designed by the architectural firm Harrison and Abramovitz. It was completed in 1953 and has a modernist brutalist style. The gardens were designed by California landscape architect Thomas Dolliver Church. Miramar neighborhood. The street is one of the main avenues in the area and has many elegant and historic buildings. It is considered one of the most beautiful in Cuba, and its route will take you to other wonderful places. Its name was originally said to be the Avenue of the Americas. Currently, there is a fountain on the avenue with this name. Some of the attractions that you can see along 5th Avenue are the Russian Embassy, a striking 7-story building with a modernist style. The Iglesia de Jesus de Miramar, a church built in 1953 with a magnificent organ with 5,000 pipes. The Karl Marx Theater, a large auditorium that hosts cultural events and concerts. The Plaza Emiliano Zapata, with a life-size stone statue of Zapata, Mexico's revolutionary hero. The elegant and historic mansions, many of them foreign embassies.